Mhm.
All right, good evening, everyone. We are now live.
All right, thank you very much. Welcome to the City Council regular meeting this Tuesday, March 10th, 6 o'clock. We'll start with a roll call.
Counselor Garcia.
Here.
Counselor Yazzie.
Here.
Counselor Piano.
Here.
Counselor Molina.
Here.
Mayor DePauli.
Here. Next, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. It's the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor, I could hear the energy out there. Could you?
Yes, sir.
I
We
felt
have a
it.
bunch of wrestlers in the room. It's
Yes. sir.
very energetic. The first item is comments by the public on non-agenda items. If there's anybody that has anything to bring up or say, please come up to the podium and give us your name and anything, no one out there. Okay, with that, the next item is not in the agenda, but it's the acceptance of the closed meeting procedure or minutes. What is it out?
It's a certification of the matter discussed at the February 22nd, 2026 closed session.
Yes, certification of the closed session 2 weeks ago.
You can ask Mr. Eason to certify that, put that in the record.
Mr. Easton, would you certify that, put it in the record?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As city attorney, I certified closed session called following the regular session. The council on February 24, 2026 was properly closed pursuant to section H8 of the Open Meetings Act for purposes of discussing concerning the disposal of real property. I will add a brief comment in that regard. There was a question raised during the session regarding the closure of the meeting. It is my opinion as city attorney and the opinion of the deputy city attorney that the closure was appropriate under the cited section of the open meetings law, both as a matter of case law and as a matter of an attorney general's opinion issued in 1963. But I want to assure the council and the public that we are continuing our inquiry concerning the matter. If there's any change in our view or opinion, we will so advise. Thank you.
Thank you. Dave. Our next item is the presentation and informational items. And tonight we have the 2026 New Mexico Athletic Association wrestlers. And most of them are from Mira High School. And the first award, and we'd like to give them all awards, but the first one we're going to give is for the girls' state team. So I think it might be easier if the whole girls came up here. All the girls came up to the front. And we'll hand you the coach. So again, where's the coach? So this is the plaque for the girls' team. And I'm sorry, what place did you guys get? Third place, yes.
Kids are great.
Great, yeah. So you're among other wrestlers. Frank and I wrestled. We were wrestlers in high school. Didn't do good as you guys did. The first, I'm gonna give these out just in the order that I have them. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, go ahead. All right. The first award is in honor of the outside performance and dedication to Alexis Morales. Both these are the same, it's in recognition of her outstanding leadership and historic achievement as the 2026 New Mexico Athletic Association Girls 4A State Wrestling Champion in the 125-pound class. Alexis's commitment to the sport has set a new standard of excellence for Mira High School and the Lady Patriot Wrestling Program. All right, which one's like? That's your state champion. How many state champions have we had for the girls? And but over since you've been there, how many girls? Quite a few. It's quite the program that these guys have built.
Program.
We're so proud of it, you know.
Yes.
The next one is gonna go to Kira Soto. This is for the sixth place in the so in recognition for outstanding athletic performance at the New Mexico Athletic Association Girls 4A State Wrestling Championship. Kira's exceptional skills, perseverance, and sportsmanship has helped her earn a sixth place finish in the 105-pound class. Kira has represented Gallup and Mira High School with honor and distinction. Now these a little bit difficult.
Oh, so nice, by the way.
Yeah.
You guys did a great job.
They don't look like wrestlers, do they?
The next one is Taya Silversmith. Did I say it right? Taya. Oh,
Oh, sure.
Case sitting down. Better help me, sir. Okay, we have a little bit of mix up in the order, sorry. Okay, next one will be Veronica Rodriguez. In recognition of her outstanding athletic achievement for a third place finish at the 2026 State Girls Wrestling Championship in the 170-pound weight class, Veronica is a testament to hard work and demonstrated the true grit and true spirit of a Mira Patriot. She has brought honor not only to the school, but to the community. The next one is Sean Moo. Shawnee. Okay, is she here? No, she, okay. In honor of her remarkable achievement as a 2026 state runner-up, which is second place, right? I remember that first, okay. In the New Mexico Athletic Association Girls Wrestling State Championship, 155-pound class. Her commitment to excellence and unwavering discipline and competitive spirit placed her among the top athletes in New Mexico. Shandu. Sorry, Shandu. Oh, that's it. That is it. Has set a standard of excellence for Mira's athletes. Thank you much. The next one is for Emily Lopez. In recognition of her outstanding achievement at the 2026 NMAA State Wrestling Championships, Emily's fifth place finish in the girls' 4A 110-pound weight class reflects the highest standard of dedication, discipline, and competitive spirit. And last one we have, but not last in line here, is Amber Gutierrez. In recognition of her exemplary, exemplary performance at the 2026 NMAA State Wrestling Championship. Through tenacity, skill, and unwavering patriot spirit, she secured a fifth place finish in the girls' 4A 100-pound weight divisions. She's commended for her dedication to the sport and representation of her school and her community. All right.
Good job, ladies. Crushed it. No, keep that close.
I look at Indy and I wonder, was I that size, because I wrestled 112.
You wrestled 12, yeah?
I wrestled 112, we can't believe that, I don't.
I wrestled 112 when I wrestled 165.
Congrats, you guys did such a good job. Oh, you can't shake my hand. Help this one. They love it. That is awkward. There's just like a.
Appreciate you.
I hope your arm gets better. Oh my god. Thank you so much. Please don't touch, shake my hand. We're doing it on purpose, actually. Just testing your hands. I was gonna fist bump, I was gonna elbow bump here. Elbow them. Oh, that's all, okay. Yeah, take the other one while you're at it, it's fine.
I spread my plate goes, my bones and shit. Thank you so much.
Okay, the next awards are gonna be presented to the boys class or the men's wrestling. The first award is awarded to Benjamin Vidalis. In recognition of his outstanding performance and dedication at the NMAA State Wrestling Championship, his sixth place finish in the boys Quad A 150-pound class reflects his exceptional skill, sportsmanship, and commitment to excellence. The next one is Tay Silversmith. In recognition of his grit and dominance on the mat, Tay's fifth place finish in the 4A 285-pound weight class places him among the top heavyweight wrestlers in the state of New Mexico. Though every match and every takedown, he represented Miramira High School with honor and tenacity.
Oh,
Next one is Austin Lopez. In recognition of demonstrating exceptional tenacity, discipline, and heart on the mat at the 2026 New Mexico Amateur Athletic Association State Wrestling Championship, Austin's skills, resilience, and sportsmanship have earned him the title of state runner-up in the 126-pound class, bringing great honor to his team and the Patriot community. Who's this last one? This is for Gage Sellers. In recognition of his monumental achievement as the 2026 NMAA State Wrestling Champion, 138 weight pound class, which is probably the hardest weight class there is, 138 for high school. He has demonstrated the heart of a champion and the grit of a patriot. He is an inspiration to his teammates, school, and community. That gives you the Quad A, Miramira wrestling champions and runners up and the whole thing. Thank you so much, everybody. You guys want to get it? Yeah, that's right. Well, the rest of the world.
Congrats, you
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was like, Sellers.
So that wasn't a mistake.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
It's a lot of life left.
Thank you. Now, why is your hair not purple? Do you
Yeah.
like, I don't look like everyone else. I like that about you, yeah. Wow.
Get out of here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Carried. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you, congrats.
So the next, since we got done with wrestling, now basketball is next.
No, they just went to second round today.
Oh,
The girls went out today, they haven't game night.
oh, no, I mean, with the, on the agenda, the dream team, the dream court.
It's like.
So this next item number 2 is the Dream Court opportunity for Gallup in honor of Olympian and Hall of Famer Julian Brzezinski Simpson. Mrs. Simpson will provide a small presentation regarding a proposal to partner with Nancy Lieberman Charities to invite a Dream Court project in Gallup. Mrs. Simpson and Miss Lieberman were teammates and silver medalists in the USA's women's basketball team during the 1976 Olympics in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Mrs. Lieberman's charity has a goal of having dream courts in every state and would like to establish a dream court on Mrs. Simpson's behalf. Mrs. Simpson selected Gallup for this project due to her teaching and coaching experience in Gallup years ago. And Tommy, Mims, and is Julian here?
No, she's gonna be on Zoom, I believe.
Oh, good. So I have to ask you, was did they go to the ones that played at Cathedral?
Yes.
Yes, they were that was one of my teachers.
Yes.
Mrs. Simpson was my 5th grade teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
All right.
at Cathedral.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then her and
Father-
Mike was her husband, Mike Simpson.
Mike Simpson, Father Dunstan.
Yes.
Yes, well, thank you.
Exactly.
I appreciate it.
But anyway, I've been in touch with Coach Simpson since I was a junior in high school, and she's always reached out, and basketball wasn't her main thing. Her main thing were her students and, life achievement for the kids that she taught and that she coached with. And she's always kept in touch and has been very inspirational to all of us during there. But she reached out to me and said that there was this opportunity to do a dream court. And they have dream courts pretty much established throughout the United States, and their goal is to get one in each state. And there's not one yet in New Mexico. And of all the places that she's coached at Arizona State, Marshall University, University of Cincinnati, a lot of different places, but she chose Gallup because, like you said, this has a special place in her heart. Then Gallup is a real basketball town. A lot of things here. I remember even when I lived in Sacramento and I came down to play in the Clifton tournaments, I'd bring some people down there and they thought they were just going to get the first place trophy, and they couldn't even breathe by the time the first quarter was over. So I just wanted to introduce Mrs. Simpson, and I believe she's going to be on Zoom.
Unfortunately, she's not signed on.
She's not signed on?
Not sure what happened.
Okay, well, anyway, this court that they're going to build is 80%. They pick up 80% and they want to do the other 20% on behalf of her. And this should not cost anything to the city of Gallup. Gives good opportunity because Mrs. Lieberman also does scholarships for kids. And if we can get Gallup on the map, this gives a lot of good opportunities for our young, students to be able to maybe get, funding, financial support to get to further their education. So I'm not sure if you all got a chance to look at the email at any of the Dream Court stuff.
Yeah, if we have any questions, anybody have any questions, feel free to ask them.
Question. I'm hoping she'll find her way on Zoom because I think she could probably give us a better understanding, but how many dream courts are across the country?
I think there's something like 49. No, there's more than that because there's several in California. Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
130 and nothing in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So I don't want Las Cruces or Santa Fe or Albuquerque to beat us, or to be able to get this up, or another town like where she's
Yeah.
coached at.
Question, Mr. Mayor. So I don't know if you would know this, but how would we select a location, or is there a location in mind yet?
There isn't. I think that would be up to the city. maybe Vince Alonso and his staff to be able to figure out where they would, maybe there's a facility that we need to have revamped. And maybe we can do it there. I don't, where is Vincent? Oh, you're over there in the corner hiding. I know, you always do.
He's on.
So,
Bless you.
With that, we have, one of our big plans for the future is to start building basketball courts at the sports complex.
okay, well,
And
that'd be
and
great.
tennis courts, so that would be a good place to start.
That'd be awesome. And just to let you know, Mrs. Simpson almost took us to state. We were one game away from winning state. We got an automobile accident right over by El Sombrero, which she busted her kneecap in like maybe I think 6 different places, and I punctured my lung and broke 5 ribs. So 3 of the starters were in the hospital the day that before that we couldn't make the final game. So if we would have went to that game, we would have been able to play in the state in the pit. So.
Wow. Oh, that's an interesting.
But no, that she's just her husband's a phenomenal man. It just what wonderful people. And just to be a Gallup, I have to give her not just Cathedral, but our town, kudos for being able to make that impact on a person when all these other places that she's been. So.
Well, thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, folks.
Mayor, I think the sports complex would be a great place. And being so close to where she was
Oh, she's
coaching,
coaching, yeah.
just down the hill from where she was coaching, so I think that would be a wonderful place to look at doing it, and I'd like to really work with Tommy to see this come to fruition.
Well, thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tommy.
Our next item is a brief update on the shelter. It says brief.
He cut you short already.
He's
He's got your number.
You take your time, don't you?
Mayor, Council, Deborah Martinez, along with some of the warming shelter crew, and I'll ask them to come up. I'd like to introduce our first presenter, Miss Dr. Wengler, who's award recipient of the Remarkable Woman of the Year. So I just want to acknowledge that.
Thank you, Deborah, and thank you, Mayor and Council, for the opportunity to give you a brief update tonight on the Warming Center. We'll try, I promise. So just a little bit of background. Mostly, I want to say thank you. There were a really great group of community partners that came together to make this happen, and Deborah and the city were super instrumental in making this happen. So really appreciate everybody's support and the will to make sure that our unsheltered population had access this winter. So just a little bit of background. The homeless challenges that we're facing are absolutely a Gallup problem, but also I just want to put that in like the national context. So between 2022 and 2024, the number of unhoused individuals nationwide has increased from about 600,000 to about 800,000 in just those 2 years. So that's about a 43% increase. And that's really tied into the rapidly increasing housing costs. Never in US history have we seen this quick of a rise in unsheltered individuals. So just wanted to sort of give that context. As you may know, historically, McKinley County has had the highest percentage of exposure deaths in the state of New Mexico. There was a study, an article that came out some time ago in the year that they focused on, then there were 14 exposure deaths. And certainly we feel like any individual dying of exposure in the winter is one too many. In November of this year, the local emergency department noticed that they were having an increased number of cold exposure injuries, frostbite. And so that sort of raised the alarm for a number of us that this could be a really important issue to be addressing this winter. At that point, again, Deborah, Dr. Way, a number of the community partners got together to think about what we could do to help to intervene. And then we made connection with the state workforce department, which supplied the funding for the warming shelter. And the city came together and created that emergency declaration that allowed us to expedite that. With those resources, we were able to get the shelter up and running in about 10 days. So it was a really fast turnaround. And that, I think, was aided by the fact that a number of the partners involved were the same individuals that were doing the shelter project during COVID. So we had a lot of, sort of historical context and memory about how to get those things up and running quickly. My sort of overall just thought, and the team will talk a little bit more. Deborah's got some really good data for you around how the project went. But I just want to say that I feel like, we certainly have a lot to learn. The project was definitely not perfect, but I do think that it was a really great learning experience and that we really laid the foundation to be able to do more of this work going forward. So as you listen to the other presenters, I just want you to sort of have in mind, how do we shift from emergency response, because next winter is also going to be cold, the winter after that. Winter shouldn't be sort of an unexpected emergency. We know that's coming. And also with our unhoused individuals have needs, throughout the year. So how do we move from sort of reacting to being able to proactively think about, housing first approach and how we help make a difference for the unhoused in our community. So I'll stop there and I'll turn it over to Alexis Lucero, who coordinated staffing from Gallup Community Health.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Val. Hello, Alexis Lucero. I am no longer the director of the warming shelter, but I am now becoming a CHW at Gallup Community Health. So I'm following helping people, what I like to do. I think that the warming shelter was a wonderful opportunity, not only for myself and those involved, everybody, it was a learning opportunity, but I think it was also great for you guys as counselors. I'm sorry, hello counselors, hello mayor. I think it's wonderful too, as you, for you guys to see the changes of what happened. Let's just say last winter versus this winter. I know that it might not be there on paper, or you might not go out on the street and see the difference, but when you actually go into the town, when you actually talk to the people and get to know some of these people, you can feel the difference, you hear the difference, and then you're actually able to see the difference. And it definitely is a group partnership. Deborah did a lot of coordinating that she, stepped up for, and that was wonderful. I have a couple of my staff here as well. If you guys can stand up in the audience. They were amazing. So I had 11 dedicated staff members, and they were continuously dedicated throughout the entire 3 months. Hardly called in, their heart was there, and when we didn't need something, they volunteered to bring it in. And so I just wanted to give them the praise and the thanks as well. Yeah, that's my report. I'll turn it over now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tommy from the Gallup Express.
Tommy's back.
Yes, I am black. Thank you. Oh, you said back, my bad. Strike that. Just kidding, everyone. We're on record. That's just me messing around. But anyway, yeah, Tommy Mims, Gallup Express. We got together. I wanted to thank Deborah for including us in this adventure, because it's like they said, just to eliminate just one exposure death. We know that it's not gonna, that there's not gonna be any, but just to eliminate one, the people really got to know the schedule of the buses and everything like that. We have a team of 13 people, and all took 1 week driving. That it was a little bit different for us because we do not let intoxicated people ride during the week. So this was a little bit different for them as far as when people got on the bus. The thing is, we didn't want to really turn anybody away unless they were really, causing trouble or a disruption. We figure, yeah, we don't want you to pass out there and, not be good. So they'd get on the bus. But the only mistake, not the only, one of the mistakes that I made was not foreseeing having like a bus monitor on the bus, because with that being said, with the drinking, sometimes there was drinking on the bus, and the bus driver can't really watch everybody while he's driving and trying to get them to their destination safe. So if I would do anything next time, is to make sure that there's an additional person on the bus that can watch people. So when you have like 14 to 25 people on the bus, when you go back later, you review the cameras and you see them passing the bottle back and forth. So the problem we had when we started off early was that we ran into 11 o'clock. So a lot of people say, I'm going to get the last bus. We'll go, I'm going to catch the last one. Then eventually we cut it down till 9 o'clock. Then it dwindled down. It's too bad. We were housing almost 70 people a night, was it? So Yeah, but unfortunately, they weren't behaving. So not enough staff to watch everybody, so it had to get cut back and cut back. But I think this team that's back here did a fantastic job. They were always in communication with our drivers and, you know, like letting us know, okay, we have this many more people left. We have, you know, men are all full, but we, you know, females, there's room for females and couples. They never, not one female got turned away from the shelter, which I think is awesome because we don't really have enough anywhere for the females to go. So thank you for that, Drew. I would suggest, I was talking to Deborah, if they were to do this again next year, probably to get their own vehicles. So if we can have funding and they can staff and have their own vehicle and they won't have, they'd have more options to do things throughout the day, not rely on us getting there at, you know, 6:30 and start running. You know, they can do a lot more things, but even with the hospital, they would call and need pickups and just, you know, we had a set schedule, but it really wasn't set. We, you know, but if you have to go somewhere, we'd go out of the way to go get someone else and get back. And almost, I'd say 80% of the people that stayed there were very cordial. You know, they're very nice and they got to know the staff and the staff knew them. So I'm not sure if you guys had any questions about transportation, how we did, or if anything, if not.
Tommy, where were all the stops? I know there was one by Walgreens, like where were all the
Well, our
stops?
first stop would be at the hospitals.
Okay,
Then we would go down to Perry Knowles and the walkway would be at 10 after. Then we'd go to Walgreens at 18 after. Then St. Joseph's Kitchen would be there at 27. Then Safeway was at 32. Then Bank would come back over and go to Bank of America at 39. Then 44 at Shop and Save West. And we'd call the shelter and let them know how many people we had, how many males, how many females, so they would know that we would be arriving in about 5 minutes. And most of the time, Anthony would come out and meet the bus as they were getting off the bus. This way, you know, he's familiar with who's who and like, oh, it's Anthony, I can't hide anything from him. Then they start, you know, doing, well, I'll let you guys talk about that. But, you know, putting stuff away, you know, taking their bags and everything, but it was overall, for as quick as it happened, they did a fantastic job.
awesome.
Right.
Thank you.
Question for you.
Question
Mr.
number one.
Mills. It was my understanding that you, because Gallup Express is a contract with the city, so the city covered the extra expenses that you incurred for this
Correct.
project? Okay.
Yeah, and we put that money towards our local match money because the way we operate out of the FTA's 5311, section 5311, we're a sub-recipient from the DOT. So we have to apply for that each year. So our operational cost is 50-50 and capital and admin's 80-20. So whatever we have to come up with that local match. Like this year was like 325,000 that we have to come up to operate that. So by extending that route, you know, and having an extended route, not really a charter, because anybody could get on the bus, not just shelter, that allow us to be able to do that. But that money we used to put towards our local match. So that took it down a lot, you know, not a lot, but, you know, significant from what we'd have to come up with.
Okay, so was this financially viable for you?
Very well, yes, I would say yes. Even if we did it for $10, I would have
Thank
done
you.
it.
Can I just say that Tommy did a lot of the driving on his own free time because of lack of staffing, so I just want to acknowledge that he really took on the driving.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I apologize. I also do want to exaggerate how the shelters in the town can actually make the city safer, not only for our Samaritans, but also for travelers. I'm not sure if you guys have Googled Gallup, New Mexico, but it advises travelers to really be wary about the place. And I think that by having shelters like this, a lot of those dangerous people that don't have buildings to go to, shelters to go to, they all go to one place, you know, and then we have a designated group to deal with it. And yeah, I just wanted to reiterate the safety of the town and how it could help that as well.
It's good.
Okay, I'll be quick. So I'm handing out a summary of the data sheet. So total there was 297 intakes. over the 3 months that the shelter was in operation. There were 636 unique individuals. 492 of those stayed 5 days or less. Of the unique individuals, there was 141 females, 495 males. So for every 10, there was 8 males, 2 females in the shelter. So as you look at where people are from, majority of the people were from McKinley County, 64. The other percent were from Arizona, Illinois, Phoenix. You'll see a lot of the other areas that people claim. We had a lot of people from Apache County. I think that was probably the most where they were from. The average length that someone reported that they were homeless was more than 12 months. Coming in second was less than three months. People reported where they would stay if there wasn't a warming shelter. 61% reported that they would stay in encampments. 27% said they would stay at NCI. There were 16 families that entered the shelter, 18 adults. The age range of children that entered the shelter were 2 to 14, and the number of kids per family was 1 to 3. And those families only stayed 1 night at the shelter. We had 182 calls for service at the shelter. You'll see the list of incidents that we had: intoxicated person, disorderly conduct, narcotics, battery. We had a lot of calls also for Gallup Fire, which included general EMS, overdose, property damage, seizure, altered mental status. And the team handled that really well, and they worked with GPD, although that did increase their call load. We saw a decrease in the shelter intakes at NCI for 19%, but we also seen an increase in the PC intakes. We also heard informally that the shelter intakes at St. Joseph decreased during the shelter operations. So we also asked what were barriers to housing. The most common report was missing documents coming in. Second was substance use disorder. And then the third was no large housing per big family. The average age range was 36 to 45 with 33%. And then 21% were the age 25 to 35. The ethnicity was 92% Native American, with Hispanic, white, African American, and other coming in with a small minority. Sorry. So we included a lot of recommendations. Like everybody said, it was a success. We put it together in a short amount of time. There was great collaboration, but we also came back with a lot of learning lessons, which I included in the report. So we stand for any questions.
Deborah, so what were some of the negatives that we could work with?
The recommendations. So we recommended maybe looking at the facility. The ballroom was a little far to the restroom. People needed to be escorted, or there would be use in the restroom. We'd have 2 people on the bus. Like Tommy said, whoever's running the program should do the transportation, more security, more training, radios to communicate, end the intake earlier, meet with other shelters to get ideas, possibly the location, and then work on housing and other incidents beforehand. So I try to sum that up. If there's any questions.
Would it be easy for you to get a total financial impact to?
Yeah.
And thank you to everybody who came and who helped support this and make it happen. In my opinion, this is the bare minimum that we should be doing in the winter, and if possible, any way that we can expand it or do more. But to do that, we need to know the cost, the actual cost, and what other kinds of support we can get for it. So I'd be interested in getting that if possible.
Yeah, and just so you know, there was at least 10 departments from the city, probably over 100 hours that went into this project, from delivering all the materials, cleaning up, and then pulling all the materials, dumping the trash. So a lot goes into this, but I can get you an estimated cost even to what the city's time.
Yeah, and including the workforce grant that they gave us at the.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just have a quick question, Mayor. I'm not sure if this was able to happen just because I know it was such a fast turnaround with everything. Was there any kind of effort or was it too hard because everyone was just staying 1 or 2 nights to kind of transition people to other resources? I realize it's like really difficult. I'm just wondering, like, this was a temporary fix, right? Just to keep people out of the cold. But now people are, I'm guessing, maybe back on the street, right? And so that's not really a good fix long-term, which I realize wasn't the whole intent of this purpose.
Yeah.
But just, do we have any, or is that something in the future we could think about of just having like other resources, come so that there is like a transitional of like, there's maybe some people who can get a job, or if they're clean,
Yeah.
you know, or get
And-
more permanent housing stabilization or something.
And I think the way Albuquerque operates it, they have shelters in the day where they transition people, so
Oh.
that might be an option. But I think, like Fire Chief said and some others, that we need to go look at some other programs and how they operate, to get more ideas of what the actual need is and how we're really accommodating what we set out to accommodate, or if we're just taking from other shelters because of like lax rules or
Yeah.
transportation and things like that. So I think we need to factor that in as well.
Okay. Thanks.
But I think a partnership with Navajo Nation, being that, 64% are only from McKinley County. Like if we can do maybe a regional center where to accommodate a lot of people and expand, that could be an option.
Deborah, thank you so much, and thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. Wanger, and congratulations, and who else was with us? And then Tommy, and then also Alexis. Appreciate it. Dr. Wanger, yeah, sorry.
And PD and fire for all the calls.
At least you just had to go to one place.
Yeah,
You know,
and
that's what makes it nice.
and Howard Johnson for cleaning up the toilets.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Any other questions?
I was gonna say, I thought maybe, the police department and the fire department would be slow since they're all in one place, but my understanding is you have more calls because of the problems that were out there. So, we try to eliminate that or help it, help the police department and the fire department. So thank you very much, because I knew it was a lot of extra calls. Thank you.
But I think we could put the team together and get some more, there's probably some more recommendations that I didn't. But I think with all these brilliant minds, we can come up with some good plans. So
Yeah, so
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Great job.
thank you guys.
Okay, our next item, that it says, okay, this is a presentation on the golf course status. It's a brief update on the status of the golf course. And given that the speaker is going to be Vince Alonso. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, ladies and gentlemen in the audience. Fellow co-workers. Mayor, I'm sorry, it's not gonna be too brief, but I'll make it as brief as I can.
Thanks, sis.
Before you, I put a packet in front of you. This is more for the benefit of our new councilwoman and you as well, Mayor. I presented all that information on August 12th of 2025, what we're gonna be doing going forward as far as Fox Run. On February 3rd, I got an email from Councilor Piano. She has some concerns or questions. She's getting phone calls from individuals asking why the golf course wasn't opened because the weather was so nice. I don't argue that we didn't have a beautiful winter. Unfortunate. Why we were closed on Mondays, we discussed that in April of 24. We opened the golf course for the benefit again of Councilor Yazzie. The golf course was closed for the whole golf season of 21 and 22 and 23 due to conditions. When they brought me back on board in November of 23, we decided we opened up in April. And we were open for the golf season. We opened 9 holes only, the back 9. We had shy of 5,000 rounds that year in the back 9. I'm gonna try not to ramble and step all over myself, but and without getting boring, I've been involved with the golf course. I started at the golf course in 1981. I was involved with the golf course from 81 to 91. They brought me back to the golf course in 2004 to 2006. They brought me back again in 2010 to 2012. They brought me back again in 2014 to 2016. And they brought me back again in 2023 to present. Along with that packet, what wasn't on there that I presented to council in August, I put, and I apologize to the city manager because I used a ton of ink. I printed all 18 greens for you. And you can see the condition of those greens and how anybody in their right mind could think we should put anybody on those green with those conditions. I guarantee you we won't have nothing left. Those pictures were taken on March 10th, I'm sorry, February 10th. I took some more current pictures now, 27 days later. And these are the conditions. This is what happens if we wait.
When were these pictures taken, Vince? The ones,
February 10th.
oh, February, okay. Sorry.
No, those are taken February. Yeah,
Okay.
that, we got December agent.
Yeah, it starts filling in.
Oh, so these are the same pictures that we're getting from you now?
No, those are 27 days later.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, yeah. These.
Anyway, the 27 days later, maybe they don't look great, but they're improving. Greens are a living thing. Greens we require, they require temperatures, which the temperature we were getting, it was hot. They were trying to wake up. We were wishing they would stay dormant. They once they start getting heat, then they start requiring water. Then they start requiring attention. You don't just go and open up a green and let somebody play on it. You gotta cut them, you gotta come down to a certain height. It's a lot of maintenance involved. And I strongly would not recommend opening that golf course. I think when I brought this to council in August, I gave some scenarios. I says, you know what, when it gets warm out there, people are gonna wanna play golf. We're gonna have to say you can't play. I gave examples like our NFL. Football season ended February 7th. Guess what? We gotta wait till August for them to play again. Regardless of how much we miss it, how much we love it. We gotta wait. Everything has a window. The Fox Run Golf Course has historically closed for winter ever since I've been around. And as far as Mondays, we decided even on that, when we met in April of 24, that is a maintenance day. The golf course has always had a maintenance day. You have to have a maintenance day. You have to be able to flush your greens. You have to be able to, you're having all these rounds of golf. You have to be able to maintain your course. It has to rest. It's a living, breathing thing. So, I mean, I can go back 30 years ago and tell you we used to close half a day on Thursdays too. You know, my objective, like I told you guys, well, like I said then, for the exception of Mayor DePauli and Councilor Yazzie, my objective is not just having a golf course today and tomorrow. It's a golf course for the future. I kind of, like I said, tunnel vision won't get me nowhere. The other thing that was asked was, you know, what my crews were doing. Anybody wants to know what my crews are doing, they can get a hold of me. I think it's unfair to my guys to say publicly, my guys are busy, and if my guys ain't busy, Frank, you can deal with me, sir.
Your guys are busy. I'm not busy.
But they're, you know, everybody's doing what they need to do. I really don't, you know, and I'll give you an example, and I'll get off my soapbox here in a second. I called the Grants Golf Course today. And I was gonna do it anonymously, and I said, you know what, I'm not gonna be dirty like that. I'll tell them who I am, tell them what's going on. The gentleman was real nice. And I says, can I ask you some questions? I don't know if you can answer. I don't know if you will answer. I don't know if you're able to answer. He goes, yes, yes, and yes. And okay. I said, okay, first of all, what are your conditions like? He said, oh, we're in bad shape over here. He says, as a matter of fact, we've only got 9 holes open. Many of our tee boxes are dirt. We haven't had no water since October. They finally turned the water on today. We're closed Sundays and Mondays due to the lack of golfers, due to conditions. We can't forget that just 4 years ago, we didn't have a course even open. We will kill that golf course. And all my armchair experts, you guys can get my number, call me, because I'll tell you right now, that's just because you want to golf today doesn't mean you'll have a golf course tomorrow. I just can't stress it enough. I sound upset because I am. It just really ticks me off because we do the best we can with what we got. You know, I'm gonna steal some words of wisdom. I gotta admit, and I told the city manager this the other day. I don't agree with everything the city manager says and does. I don't. If we have a meeting, but when I walk out of that meeting, I'm either on the same page with him or I'm not on his team. I don't agree with all due respect to the mayor and council, I don't agree with everything you guys say and do. But you know what? After I leave this meeting, I'm on the same page. Because if I'm not on the same page, you don't need me. And it don't work. The words of wisdom I want to steal, they were Councilor Piano's words of wisdom she used about a month ago. A united front. If we're not all in it together, singing from the same sheet of music, I mean, what good are we doing each other? I need support. You guys want a golf course? I'm only around 2 more years, guys. So you don't got to put up with me much longer. But, you know, that's how strongly I feel, Mayor. I'm sorry. If I came across disrespectful, that's how I feel and that's how it is.
So I have a question. I don't want you to feel defensive or your staff defensive. My purpose in having a presentation was merely just understanding of the golfers. That's all I want. Just to be clear, like, I think the golfers is in my district, so I get a lot of questions. I'm not a golfer myself, even though I have a tournament. So I just want people that are listening or hear that are golfers. It's nice to just have a general update, right? So people can hear it. I think when you did that update at the golf course, it was really great. A lot of people came and they wanted to hear the updates. And so it's nice, I think, just to hear all that at one place. So I think it's helpful to just understand. And maybe I'll just like use Frank's word of like I've even said as a person, well, it's so nice, right? Like, and people are telling me it's 70 degrees. We're having such a weird winter and, you know, they just want to go and golf. And so I've asked Frank and Frank kind of indicated that, you know, there's still freezing grounds at night. And so I was hoping you could touch more on the like logistics of that and why, because this is not my personal opinion. I'm just telling you what golfers have told me, that saying like, hey, it's so warm. Okay, yes, I agree, it's warm out. We want to go golf. Why are other courses across the state open and ours isn't? And I don't know how a golf course landscape works. So I don't think that I'm always educated enough to explain why we can't open. So that's why I wanted like the presentation, just so people can hear like, these are the reasons, right? These are the reasons why you guys feel it's best to have it this way.
Mayor, DePauli, Councilor Piano, you know, that's all well, give them my number. If you don't have an, that's what I'm here for.
Okay.
I'll be glad to talk to any of these guys. The thing is that a lot of other cities within our community don't have 40, 50 degree fluctuations in temperatures. That alone will kill you. You know, it's tough. I mean, I can make excuses all day long. You know, and that's not what I'm here. I'm here, golf is a quality of life. I've been providing or trying to provide quality of life for going on. I'm 42 years active. I've been here around 45, but it's just, but have them call me. I mean, that's why I'm here.
Any questions?
I'll be glad to answer anybody's questions.
I got a question, but first I got a comment. Vince, everything you said is true. When this golf course shut down, when we first opened it up, when they brought Vince in, we started seeing progress right off the bat. I used to go by there every day and drive and look at the progress at the golf course, and Vince is right in everything he said. He's come a long way. The only problem is he doesn't get backup from our sewer department. Our damn pump breaks down and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's a problem. It's an issue. We're working on that. Not fast enough, but we're working on it. That's my comment. Now my question is, I've never seen you so frustrated in my life, Vince. Where's the frustration coming from?
I've calmed down.
Thank you.
I've
Where's your
calmed-
frustration coming from?
I've
I
calmed-
missed something somewhere down the line.
My heart's in it.
Yeah.
My
No,
heart's been in my job for all these years, and if your heart's ain't in it, then you don't need to be around.
I know it is. Always has been.
So one of the things that I want to point out, being around here a long time and dealing with reseeding and vegetation and biology, you know, the grass at the golf course is a fragile system.
Is
You know, what it does is when the sunlight hits it, it starts getting warm, it starts to bud and starts to grow. And what it does is it takes up oxygen. You know, it absorbs oxygen, photosynthesis, and then it takes up carbon dioxide and gives off oxygen. So all of those factors involved have to, these ranging temperatures and stuff that happen, we have to protect the golf course, the field itself, because it's just like an infant starting off its first day. You know, it's just growing. It started, or a chicken that just hatched. It's absorbing carbon dioxide, it's using the sun, and it's growing. If you start putting weight, start doing anything at all to start on the turf, that's where the most damage is done. Once it gets into the 6 weeks into it, then that's when the roots start stabilizing, the blades start coming to be, and then usually after that first cut is when you can put people on it. But it's very fragile. It's just an infant starting to grow. Once it gets the growth going, it gets green, that's when you can put people on it. I want to make sure you understand that everybody understands that. And that's why I'm so supportive of not getting anybody on that golf course until it gets green and the roots have established and the photosynthesis fully went through, and it's taking up carbon dioxide and giving off oxygen like it should be.
And we're very fortunate. We're getting a good head start on it. But if Vince says to close the golf course, we close the golf course. He runs that show. Unless you got somebody here that knows more than Vince, let us know.
Yeah.
But Vince is our guy. That's to the whole public, all the golfers.
I would like to say a couple things. You know, we're very unique in, I think Grants and Gallup are the only two courses in the area that have our topography and demographics of weather. Farmington is in a bowl. They're protected. They don't have the drops. Albuquerque doesn't have the drops. I played in a high school golf team in high school. It was a spring season only. Matter of fact, Curtis Fortney and myself were the two Gallupi coaches who fought for split seasons. Let us play in the fall. You know, we're in the gym, the old Gallupi gym above the wrestling room, hitting balls into a net. And we go to our first tournament with snow on the ground or frozen. Joe Vargas back then wouldn't let the courses open because the ground is frozen. We'd go to our first tournament playing against guys who, you know, we'd get out there and say, what's the green stuff? What's that green stuff on the ground? We didn't know how to hit the ball off green stuff. We used wrestling mats to hit the balls into the nets. So this is a long-term thing. Grants is not shut down. And everybody points to why is Grants open and we're not. But they start seeing the damage in July and August that is caused now by playing on those frozen grounds. And they're paying for it now. Their course is gone. They used to have one of the top 10 courses in the state, in my opinion, when Coyote first opened. And now they're struggling because they politically didn't want to suck it up and say, we need to close. I'm glad to hear that they finally closed 9 holes. They also had Manny back in the day.
Yeah.
Who was a hell of a golf pro that in my tenure, I don't think I've ever seen Manny swing a golf club. But I've seen him with buckets of seed, water, rakes, shovels, driving around the golf course, constantly working on the course. So, you know, they've lost that TLC for many. They've allowed the play to start moving sooner since the days are warm. We don't care if it's cold at night. I think this is huge progress in 30 days. We have 4 bad greens. 4 bad greens. Last year we had 16 bad greens. I'm very happy with it. I've pledged better support to get people on the ball to get water for Vince. He's been begging for water again.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have to beg for water. So we're doing what we can to get water to that course in a better way. We're gonna get there, Vince, to where you don't have to beg. I'm hoping it's before you retire.
Yeah, and I have to give a lot of credit to the crew. Eric Yazzie he's worth his weight in gold. Without him, we'd really be lost.
At the same time, other departments kicking in, the water department. Chief brought his probies up there, his probation officers rolling out hose and doing work.
Awesome.
They were kind of happy they weren't in a classroom anymore studying. They got to actually get out and, even though he rolled the hose out and they were bad hoses, so they rolled backwards, have to roll it out and turn them around, connect them, stuff like that. So, you know, they got out there and worked it, and we see a bunch of people working together. So just asking the community, give it time. It's gonna have a great tournament. Reading what it is, you know, alternating the 9s back and forth to get them growing and going good. Tournament's opening for 18. I'm sure those people wanting to play in tournaments here will love having 18 holes for the tournament. And Vince, you know, I just want to thank you and your workers for keeping your heads up even during tough times to keep working on the course.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I have 2 more questions if I can. Vince, I really appreciate these pictures. I think it really shows the growth of the grass, so I do appreciate that. And I don't want you to think in any way that, at least for me, I think people just have questions. Most of the people I've talked to me aren't mad at you or anybody. They're just generally wanting updates, right? So it's nothing, I don't think, personal or against the work you're doing. We all know that you're such a hard worker and your staff are hardworking. My question is, I understand that it seems like the schools are able to use the driving range right now. Is that, I heard that to practice, is that true? And could we
Yes,
potentially-
yes, so we are letting the school, we have to help our kids.
Yeah,
They're gonna be going to tournaments, they can't go over there with a cold club. So we have opened up the course for them to practice, but they can only go on the range, that is it,
sure.
that's it.
Okay, and then do we know if the driving range will be open at all earlier for like?
No,
No,
for the regular golfer, because knowing my people, they won't stay on the range. They'll find their
Oh.
way out to the fairways and then we'll be fighting with everybody, but this, like I said, we had to support our kids. And I mean, that's what we're about our young people, so.
And then you're gonna open on April 14th, but it's just for the front 9 or the back 9?
Well, it's gonna depend, like my things, like the paper said, whatever size in the best condition. I'm not gonna get into the whole water situation, the city manager already did, but. We're just got a hope for water. So whatever side's in the best shape. Right now, it looks like the front's gonna be in better shape.
Could we potentially open the whole 18 or no, you're just still planning on opening only 9?
No, it's gonna be, we're gonna have to alternate one more season for sure. And then next year, we'll see what it looks like, but we're gonna only go 9 holes at a time. We'll do a rotating schedule. And 6 or 8 weeks at a time, depending on how they look. And then we'll just switch and then just open 18 holes for tournaments over 10 tournaments only if conditions allow. Conditions allow.
How many sprinkler heads are on that course?
1,400.
1,400. One of the things I was asking, talking with your greens keeper and stuff. We need to look at downsizing. You know, to charge that many sprinklers, what, 1,600 gallons a minute?
Not, we're going full blown 1,900 gallons a minute.
1,900 gallons a minute. If you can't hit a golf ball 100 yards, they make putt-putt courses. I would like to look at authorizing them to do some zero scaping on some of those holes, like in front of number 3, from the men's tee box to the women's tee box. It's 80 yards or so. Do some zero scaping.
Yeah.
That takes out 4 to 8 heads just for that hole.
Yeah, that's great.
Several of those holes where we have no business growing grass. We're having a hard time growing grass. And if we don't need grass in that area, we can downsize needing that many gallons per minute by shrinking the system. Now, it'll take some work to plug the heads and do some things, but I think we can, I've seen a lot of courses in tough areas, xeriscape, just to conserve water. One, and two, the xeriscaping makes it look nice. It sucks when you have a bad shot and then gotta go
It's a brush.
duff out of it, or the embarrassment, you know, I'm not gonna say the saying that if you couldn't hit the ball past the women's tee box, figure out how to prove you can.
Oh, thank you.
So, you know, there's several holes on that course I think we can cut down and eliminate a lot of those sprinkler heads to conserve your water and focus the water where it needs to be. So
Yeah.
just a suggestion. I know politically in the past, they tried it and people, oh, we can't have this. And I think it's gonna be a necessity here soon.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vince.
Mayor, just a quick comment. My wife's at the basketball game. First quarter's over. The Gallup girls are up by 1.8-7 over Silver City. Sorry for the interruption.
Thank you for the update. Thanks, sir. So the next time, we're gonna go back to Tommy Mims and Julian Simpson because I believe she's online.
Yes, she's.
Okay,
Oh,
and now we get to see, which I. Is Tommy, yeah,
yeah,
Tommy's
he's still
still
here.
here. So. Hello, Ms. Simpson, can you hear us okay?
I can, and I apologize ahead of time. I asked Alexa the time difference between New Mexico and Texas, and so I thought it was an hour later. And then I realized I failed to look at Mr. Abeda's email, which said Central Daylight Time. So I apologize. Thank you for sliding me in.
Hi,
Oh,
Coach.
thank you. We'll just continue. We already had a brief presentation from Tommy. But we'll just continue with the basketball program of the Dream Court and just tell us what how you picked Gallup and how you want to continue.
Okay, Coach, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Love you.
You're the best.
Second best. Jesus is always number one. Anyway, I just wanted, we opened up, talked about the opportunity for the kids. Vincent even mentioned it a little bit about the golf, you know, taking care of our kids. There's not really much to do here in Gallup, but with the things, if we can concentrate on things for our children and those growing up and us old folks, if we can, can I ask you, can we lower the goal down to about 8 foot? I still want to be able to dunk. But anyway, we 6 foot, I know I could just, you know, I don't even think I could do that. But anyway, they even came up with a couple of good suggestions. The town, I think, is really in for having this court. We understand that there's 130 courts around the United States, and it'd be a great opportunity for Gallup to get one of these, especially our town has really excelled in basketball, especially the women's team. High school teams have really done some great things. And I think that I remember when I was younger, they used to always have basketball tournaments, and I don't see those tournaments, you know, going on men's tournaments anyway, where they always played. But anyway, I think this is a great opportunity with your experience, not only with basketball, but just with people and everywhere you've been throughout the United States coaching. And just maybe if you could touch a little bit about why you would choose Gallup out of all these places that you have coached.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for filling in for me. Mwah. Hugs over there for covering. But I'm excited to and honored really to be part of Gallup again. You know, I wish I could be there in person and on time. But my connection to Gallup goes back to Father Dunstan. I met Father Dunstan when they did have the Amateur Athletic Union Women's National Basketball Tournament there in Gallup. And he got to know me a few times that I had been there. And right before I graduated, he called me and asked me if I was interested in coming to Gallup to teach, to coach. And I was training for international teams and hoping to make the 76 Olympic team. And so after graduating, I said, yes, I come. He said, bring your husband with you. You could find a job. He was also a teacher. So my experience at Gallup was amazing. I loved the people. We loved our jobs. You know, I wish I had more time, and maybe down the road I could come by and talk about some of those great stories, because Gallup really is part of history of women's basketball. And sometimes when I go speak, there's been articles. Gallup has been mentioned because they're doing a 10 series for television, and Gallup is mentioned several times because there are many women that had opportunities to go there. But my purpose today, going to be short and sweet as much as possible. It's the opportunity to tell you about the possible project that's special to my heart, Nancy Lieberman Klein Charities. Nancy and I played on the 1976 Olympic team. Her big goal after competing was, and I'm just going to read a couple things she asked me to read, the Nancy Lieberman Charities focus on improving outcomes for underserved youth in areas of education, health and wellness, and preparing for life. She created a lot of impactful programs. For instance, the Dream Court, they give educational college scholarships. They have basketball camps. They have a lot of different programs that they offer. And it's just not the Dream Court. It's all being part of it. One of the things she does want me to mention is that they served over 5.5 million children and continuing. So the focus of Gallup in youth really falls into this. And up until last year, they gave 130 seniors money to go to college. They do backpacks, which they've done over 20,000. They give awards for camps if you want to go to them and so on. I love the program. That's Kids and Cops program. But anyway, Tommy, you mentioned, 139 Dream Courts. So what happened is Nancy called me about a month or two ago and said, Julene, I would like to donate and build you a court, any place you want in the United States. And I said to her, Gallup, New Mexico. And she looked at me. She said, Gallup? She said, I heard stories about it. I said, my experience there and what they did for me in just the 3 short years we were there, I always wanted to give something back. And so it really is very special to me. So, but Tommy said there is a connection. And I think it's a great match because Nancy believes that no child should face many challenges by themselves, and no child should be left behind. So with that, I think it's a great match because I love Gallup, I love Nancy, and one of her goals is to have a Dream Court in every single state. New Mexico does not have any. Nobody's ever talked about it. So Gallup would be the first. And I think that would be such an important part. So today I was really here just to introduce myself, the possible connection with Gallup. And basically what happens is once we're done, if you all decide, yes, we want to move forward, Nancy's assistant would call, and whether it's the city councilor or the whole group, to be able to have a presentation. And then she would be able to answer all the questions and show all the information. So moving forward, this is the end of my few minutes, and thank you so much. Moving forward, I think this is a forever partnership because Tracy would come in, she would put it all down. They bring in the court, they put down on top of a pavement, they put down that outside court. It would be any way you would want it as far as the signature pieces. It's very, very colorful. They bring in the standards, which are phenomenal. And once they do that, they also bring in all their programs that would be part of it. So if you have someone interested in going to college and they need money, they can be part of that process. The what I love is the shopping with the cop. They give X amount of money to the area and the cop goes with this, I think it's like 75 in Dallas. And they went and they shopped for school clothes and things like that. I think the backpacks and also the iPads is unbelievable. So what would happen after all of that is put together? I'm sure you would see Nancy before that, at least on Zoom, but she will be there for the grand opening. They do bring everybody from the community in to cut the ribbon. They would also do a clinic, do some stuff for the youth while they're there. And we'd all just cut the ribbon. And then they will be with you every 2 or 3 months now. So this is kind of a lifetime commitment in a sense. They'll come and they'll see what your needs are, or you will be able to communicate with them. And I think that is probably why my heart is really full. I know God just planned all of this, even though I've always wanted to do this. Because I was an Olympic team, everybody thinks I have a lot of money, but years ago we had to pay to go to the Olympics. But I think once you are partnered with Nancy Lieberman, I think what you will find is exactly what I just heard people say, is they care about the youth, and that is what she cares about. So thank you. I'm sure, you all could get together and decide and just reach out and we can move forward if that's what you want to do. Again, there's no rush to any of this because everything is done, first class. So that's how you will be treated.
Man,
Awesome.
Very nice.
Did you have?
I just have a comment. Thank you so much for joining us. I just want to say, I love this. In my day job, I run a youth organization, and for city council, I hear people say all the time, we need more stuff for youth here. And I think our youth are the future. They're the future of our town. They're the future council. They're the future businessmen and women. And I love this opportunity for kids to get outside and for there to be another opportunity for kids to come together in community. So I think this is a great opportunity for us. And I feel honored that you thought of us and that you thought of Gallup and your time here. So personally, I think this is a great opportunity for our community, and I really appreciate you coming in and for Tommy making the introduction. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that guy standing there, if you could believe it. If you knew his past stories. No, I'm only kidding. He is amazing. Well, I turned on with the golf course, and also one of the programs that Nancy started just 2 years ago. It's a day on the course where she brings in a couple pro golfers and brings in an X amount of kids that would have never had an opportunity, and she funds all of it. So I'm excited. Thank you. I'm very, very honored too that this has come around. So of course my family, I have 2 girls and their families, and now everybody's talking about when are we going to Gallup just to go see Gallup. So that's our next goal.
You got free transportation. Gallup Express will pick you up.
I've already looked at some flights, Tommy, for the summer. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Can we work through Tommy to set up the date for the presentation at a council meeting?
Yes, that would be great for me. I talked with Tracy this morning, and she knows that I was just giving a little introduction. She's excited to talk with you, so she could lay everything out for you.
Okay, awesome. So I'll work through Tommy and we'll find a mutually good date to get it scheduled, and we'll make sure it's on the agenda.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thanks, Coach.
so cool.
All right. Thank you, Tom.
Go run some laps.
Mark,
Great.
one more comment?
Oh,
Yes.
Halftime, 24-16 Gallup Bengals.
oh,
Good, yes.
24-16 Eagle.
Yes, sir.
Second round of the state tournament.
Yes,
Our
yeah.
girls are playing tonight.
The The next item is the consent agenda. These items are placed on the consent agenda so the city council can designate by unanimous consent those routine items they wish to be approved or acknowledged by one motion. If any item does not meet the approval of all council members, or if a citizen so requests, it may be heard as a separate item. The first item is the budget adjustment in the amount of $2,825 for the interest payment on the drinking water loan 6347. The speaker's name is Jackie Leba. And if there's any questions, we're just good to go, right, Al? We don't have to, she doesn't have to give a presentation.
We have to approve the consent agenda
We gotta approve it. Just
together, make a motion to approve.
bring up the
Yeah.
second one.
Yeah, so
Announce the second one.
let me read it. So the finance department is requesting a budget adjustment in the amount of $2,825 to cover two interest only payments for the drinking water loan number DWL 63447. And that's the city's project number GU 2518. This loan is covering the lead and copper replacement and analysis that are required by the U.S. Department of Environmental Protection Agency. The loan is approved for $1 million, $3,000 are forgiven, and leaving the $300,000 forgiven, leaving $700,000 be paid back. The next item is going to be the budget adjustment for the municipal court. The municipal court respectfully requests additional funds in the amount of $9,000 to be allocated to account number 201-4553- 412.47-12 to cover the alcohol monitoring services. This is for the remainder of fiscal year 2026. These services are utilized as an alternative to incarceration in the local detention center. The request appropriation will be funded through the use of available funds balance. Anyway, the budget adjustment is to expend the funds set in the said fund in the amount of $9,000. Anyway, those two items, if we can have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve consent agenda items 1 and 2.
I'd like to pull number 2. I'm sorry, I didn't get an option to pull. Because we just got this right before. I apologize.
That's not dealing with this.
This is not.
No, that's for the later. These are later discussions.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I just thought we were getting extra documents for it.
Yeah, no, this is.
Okay,
this.
go ahead, that's fine.
Go ahead.
We already made the motion. It's been seconded, I believe, correct?
Yes, correct. Counselor Molina,
Yes.
Counselor Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Piano,
Yes.
Counselor Yazzie.
Yes.
Mayor DePauli.
Yes. Okay, now we're gonna go into the discussion of the action topics. The first item is the approval of $63,970.97 in revenue and expenditures for eligible activities as defined in the Law Enforcement Retention Fund for the Gallup Police Department. The Department of Public Safety is in receipt of the City of Gallup's request for a year 4 disbursement of funds from the Law Enforcement Retention Fund. The funds are intended for providing law enforcement retention asset differential disbursements for the Gallup Police Department officers listed in Exhibit A. And Exhibit A is in the package, as well as covering all employer tax liability, payroll taxes outlined in the Federal Insurance Contribution Act for Social Security and Medicare, but not employer contributions for retirement or other benefit plans. With that, I will introduce Aaron Tortolina Pablo, Chief of Police.
Mayor, Council, thank you, Mayor, for taking my place there and reading it. I appreciate that. But I come before you in regards to the LEMRF that we receive as far as funding. This is going to be we've received it the past 3 years, is going to be the 4th year. So I hope that in continuing working with the state and providing our stats and our training that we're able to receive this funding, I think they're going to keep going for another 2 years. My fingers are crossed, considering the funding that is coming from the state. So, but I stand for any questions.
Chief, how is that helping in this retention? Are we able to?
Yes, as you know, that we have looked out for funding to try to keep our officers. I can tell you that every year, so this is a funding for when an officer hits and completes their 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, and 20-year. After 20 years, every year after that, they're going to continue to get it within that, hopefully in the next 2 years. But when you look at the numbers of officers that are continuing to stay, we have actually 7 employees who are plus 20 years that are receiving it. And it is an incentive to keep them, and they do look forward to the money coming in. And when you look at it, and other agencies getting $10,000, a $20,000 bonus, they're happy with 5, 4, 3,000, and it is keeping them. And I think out of this list here, we do have 2 that will be returning checks back, who are no longer with our agency. And I think we're going to have 1 that's going to actually opt out for retirement. So we'll be sending some money back to the state for these ones here.
And how many new hires have we had since we started using this program? Have we had?
So we've had quite a few. As you know, we dropped down to the single digits in hiring, but we've also lost some in regards to issues that we've had at the PD, and then also not making it through the police academy. So now we're back down to, we're looking at 16 positions open. Just, you know.
This is just more of a comment. I saw some of your new ingenuity of social media videos, so
Yeah.
I was very impressed. I was going to see you on there, Chief, but now I'm just gotta keep looking for you.
No, we actually want to make sure that we're getting our officers, because recruiting is just not a recruiter and our command staff. It's a whole department that should be
Yeah.
recruiting for us.
Yeah, that's
Not
great.
only that, I think that we do have some citizens out there who also share our stuff, which is amazing, and talk great things about Gallup. So I think it's a community effort to recruit. So we are trying to be creative and continuing to grasp our audience out there with different things. So if you have any ideas, we're glad to look at those options.
I thought it was really cute. I like the one that said, we're recruiting for, and it said green chili. Wait, no, we're recruiting, and it just had.
We're looking for a
we're
green
looking
chili.
for- Yeah, it was really cute. I saw somebody else post it and I said, what is this? And I watched it. So I just thought, I know you guys are really trying to get more people in the door. So
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Motion. Good job.
yeah.
Motion to approve the approval of $63,970.97 in revenue and expenditures for eligible activities as defined in the Law Enforcement Retention Fund for the Gallup Police Department.
Second,
Great job.
Counselor Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Piano.
yes.
Counselor Yazzie,
Yes.
Counselor Molina,
Yes.
Mayor DePaul.
Yes,
Thank you, Mayor Council.
thank you.
Since you're running traffic today, can you give us a?
Oh, can you tell us what happened?
I can't lift my arm. It's so sore right now.
Okay. Item number 2 is the recommendation of award for bid number ITB 2611 to Murphy Builders of Gallup, New Mexico for well contract number 1, station and yard piping. This project will be for the construction of well buildings to house well controls and monitoring equipment, installation of yard piping to tie in new water lines and drainage lines to existing infrastructure, electrical conduits for 2 new G80 point of diversion wells, 8 and 13, at a cost of $3,271,829.93. The speaker tonight is Mr. Cast Iron Repairman Jan Darrell Boone.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Well, I'm here to, recommend that we award this bid to Murphy Brothers.
Builders.
And staff questions.
I like brothers. Anything else you want to tell us about?
Yeah, go ahead and tell the funding, how it's,
Oh,
why
for,
we have.
Well, for the 2 projects that I'm presenting, and here is one is the Economic Development Administration Project number 0879-05634. And that one, for this project, we are looking at asking for $2 million, $37,207.96, which would be 58% of the total of all the three fundings we're seeking, or we're gonna use. So that was a loan of $3,515,108. The next one is the Bureau of Reclamation's Emergency Drought Relief Grant number R23A P00277. And that one was a grant of $5 million. The third one is the Water Trust Board Fund, Water Project Fund number 5959. And that one was a total of $10,800,000.
Can I just say something? Jackie, could you come up to the, one of the things I want to point out is that we were given the handout for the drought resiliency. It's not quite listed under the.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot to mention
um,
that it was not listed in the original item agenda.
So, yeah, so what Jan just read did not include the handout that we got here. This is action item 2. This is for the federal Water Smart. And if you're going to give us a little bit more, just to make sure we have all, we need to include this into the packet. We can do that. Okay, so we want to include anything in here. We want to include this Water Smart grant, the R23 AP 002277-00. Anything more? Okay, sorry, I just want to make sure we were good. We didn't leave it out on this award.
Okay, so for that portion, and we're looking at $3,271,821.93.
Yeah, with that, is there any more questions in regard to the award of the well house?
I just wanted to mention that I think it's great that we got these covered with grants, and also just maybe for the general public and for me, who has no understanding of why this would be so expensive. And maybe you probably have a better understanding, is that just I think I was hoping because of steel. I mean, like, I have no understanding of like why a well pump to build a well house, it costs over $3 million. Like, just to the average person, that probably seems insane. Right? Because I'm not an engineer. So maybe we could just give a little description of why building a well house costs over $3 million. Just so people in the public understand that.
So, yeah, just, I'll answer the first part.
Okay.
So this is actually for 2 well houses.
Oh, 2 well
Yes.
houses,
Right.
2 pump
And,
houses.
and there's also something so it's got 2 pump houses, $1.6 million each. It does not include the electrical switchgear. That was bought with a separate purchase. But it includes the installation, all the conduit and everything going with it. The other thing about it is too, the POD 13 will have its own chlorination. So it actually has disinfection on
Oh.
site.
Okay.
But just in general, the prices, as we all know, of items is getting more and more expensive. And these costs are they're not gonna go down. To build and you're absolutely right. We used to build well houses 20 years ago for about $300,000. Not anymore, $1.6 million
Jeez.
to drill the well. I don't know if anybody ever watched Landman, but $6 million is not unusual. We were saying $6 million before Landman came out because we have very similar wells, So water supply, construction, everything that goes into it just get more and more expensive. And we do it, you do everything you can to keep the price down, but it just keeps adding to it. And although these buildings are only 20 by 20,
Yeah.
so if you did a square footage cost on that, you would be out of this world.
That is crazy.
But the equipment in them is, and they're safe.
Equipment is
remember-
expensive.
And they're bulletproof and they're they're made, they're made very stout. So, but it's just the nature of the way construction's going in the world right now, unfortunately.
Right.
Did you want to say anything, Ron, about the
No,
cost?
we're just gonna make a motion. Everybody's ready. I'd like to make a motion for approval of recommendation of the award for bid number ITB 2611 to Murphy Builders of Gallup, New Mexico for well contract 1, station yard piping before the price goes up anymore.
Okay,
Second, please.
second.
Counselor Molina,
Yes.
Counselor Piano.
Yes.
Counselor Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Young. Mayor DePaul.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. So the next item, why Jan is still standing there, is this is the recommendation of award for bid number ITB 2612 to Hydro Resources of Rocky Mountain Incorporated of Las Cruces, New Mexico for contract 2, and that's the well equipping.
Correct.
The well equipping project will encompass furnishing, installing and testing of the well pump, the submersible motors, the column pipe, check valves, couplings, centralizers, discharge head, electrical conductor, which is the electricity goes down, and equipment and any other appurtenances to render the wells functional. The work will be for the G80 point of diversion wells 8 and 13 in the amount of $491,036. And with that, Jan, would they go ahead and give us the rest of how it's being paid and the rest of the rest of the information?
Well, we're just using the one funding source, the Water Trust Board, 5959. And stand for questions.
Yeah, I just wanted, was that being, not, are we gonna potentially use the Water Smart grant on this one too? Sorry, Jan, I'm looking at Jackie behind you.
She's like,
Okay, good enough. Just want to make sure. All right, so this one here would be pretty straightforward. All the downhole equipment, 1,500-foot well set going into the well hole and we're going down the well.
yeah, that's great. I appreciate the Water Trust Board funding that we keep getting. That's super helpful. Does anyone have questions?
Any more questions?
Okay, motion to recommend award for bid number ITB 2612 to Hydro Resources Rocky Mountain, Inc. of Las Cruces, New Mexico for well contract 2 well equipping.
Second.
Counselor Piano,
Yes.
Counselor Yazzie,
Yes.
Counselor Garcia.
Yes.
Counselor Belinda.
Yes.
Mayor DePaul.
Yes. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you, Mayor, Council.
The next item is item number 4, and it's a senior center funding with a budget adjustment. And I'm gonna just let the two presenters be Keegan McKenzie Chavis and Steve Wargo go ahead and give the presentation on where they got the money and what they plan on doing with it.
You didn't want to read that much, did you?
Good evening, council members. Good evening, Mayor
I was
DePaul.
like, what?
We come to you tonight to request $1.75 million of city funding that was actually allocated last May to be allowed to continue to be utilized along with the grants that the city of Gallup has already received from the State Aging Bureau to finish construction on our senior center. You have a list of the areas of the items that we're looking to continue. By allowing this, we will be able to use as much funding as we can use the funding to make a complete facility. And I really want to emphasize that word, it's a complete facility. We do not want to have to open this facility in they're telling me late October, early November, and have it be incomplete. The optics on it are going to be too bad, and our seniors deserve better. By doing this, we want to be able to improve the quality of life for our seniors, not only here in Gallup, but throughout McKinley County, as we have so many visitors from outside the city of Gallup that come to our senior center every day. Nearly 30 to 40% of our daily visitors come from Tohatchee, Thoreau, Twin Lakes, the Rama area. All right, we want to also instill a sense of pride in what we as a city are building for our seniors. And if I invite all of you to come out for any of our congregate lunches from 11 to 1, Monday through Friday, our seniors are excited about this facility. I was out there today. We have a building meeting with Murphy Builders. I take pictures on the Tuesdays that I'm out there. I'll post them up. They're really excited about this. We want to make sure that we are able to incorporate both the grant money that the city of Gallup has been able to obtain from all the grants, along with the allocation that the city made last May to be able to complete the necessary projects. To go into what some of those projects are at this time, Ms. Keegan McKenzie Chavez.
Good evening, Mayor and councilors and staff. So I just wanted to add some information around the wording in the request that we had. So the first term I want to look at is value engineering. And I know I spoke about that before a couple of council meetings ago, but just want to be clear that you all understand that term. Value engineering is a term that analyzes function within a project to reduce total cost without sacrificing quality, safety, or reliability. It often will include changing materials or systems that can meet standard and design intentions of a project, but at more efficient cost. So in that description, it said things had been value engineered out of the project. So I just wanted to be clear on that. And then, yeah, and then the second term is the use of overlooked. I was afraid that might make you all nervous. So on that list of 10 items, there really was only one thing that was overlooked. And because I didn't really start with this project, my understanding is that when this project came to fruition, originally it was going to be phased, and city manager decided, let's just complete the whole project. So the phasing wasn't done. And so within the phasing was gonna, let me catch my wording here. Within the phasing, the west parking lot was gonna be done. But since we had no phasing, and they just went for the whole project, that was kind of overlooked. It was gonna come later on, like in the third phase of the project. And so it wasn't really put within the design. So item 3 of your 10 list was the issue that was overlooked. Otherwise, everything else was designed. Let's see, this project, I just want to make clear that it's been a well thought out project and a well designed project. And so the issue with the west parking lot was the only issue. So you have the list. I don't know if you have any questions about anything on the list. There's kind of 10 items we would like to use that funding for that had been value engineered out. We'd like to bring them back in.
And the items seem pretty straightforward. ADA sidewalks, continuing the sidewalks, fixing the west parking lot. But number 4 is the emergency shelter. And what is number 4? That's to put the components in
So-
for the generator.
Yeah,
It's
so
not the generator.
number 4 is the generator, and I don't know what you're all thinking, but I hadn't really like grasped until I saw. So the generator is like the generator that they have at PD. So it's basically like a small house. It's not a generator that goes in the back of your yard.
It's like the size of a train box mud.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's really big, maybe not that big, but it's very large.
Yeah, it's a very large component. So there needs to be elements, pad, what kind of electrical that we can do at this point, the switch gear and everything, and then the actual generator itself. So that was after the fact, kind of came in with the idea I think this kind of came to fruition as the chief Perret was talking about emergency shelters within the city, that this would make a great site for a dedicated senior center, a senior emergency shelter where it's a facility they already know, they're comfortable with, and it could address that need should we have any kind of disaster or need emergency situation. So that came in after the fact, wasn't overlooked. It just,
Something need to be had.
yeah, it was something that kind of came up as we're looking at kind of a disaster relief plans.
Well, thank you. The next one is the detention pond. Hopefully we can get it subsurface where it's not.
I think you need to come to a meeting. We
Yeah, we'll
we
do that.
talked about that today.
It's been an ongoing point of conversation.
Yeah, so
we
it is not subsurface.
Yeah.
We kind of have,
You might be able to waive it. I don't know.
we're gonna present, but
The security, yeah.
yeah.
We'll go security fencing, number 7, number 6, number 7 is construction of walkway and walking trails. And 8 is provide raised planter beds, and 9 is xeriscaping the entrance to the trail and detention pond. And number 10 is funds of allow the inclusion of an outdoor patio furniture and to enhance the outdoor space. Beth, any questions?
Mayor, I have a question. So I have a comment first. I do think it's really good, and we should look at this in the future. I understand what you said about like, we didn't really phase it, but one of the issues that I think too was that we were basically stating that any new company, has to follow these rules of paving their sidewalk or paving there, and we were not doing that with our own facilities. And I want to stand that. I totally disagree with that. If we're gonna make business owners and people follow these standards, we as a city have to follow those standards for ourselves as well. And so that's really unfortunate that it wasn't really even initially in that, because I disagree with that, but now we're trying.
Counselor, I think it was value engineered out, and just to understand that process, what happens
Yeah.
when you value engineer, you look at what your budget is. The contractor comes in, looks at what the budget is, looks at what he can do, and says, these are the things that can kind of come out. But you're exactly right. That's kind of a new direction and focus, is if we're requiring residents to do things or businesses coming in, we need to do them. So that's why
Yeah.
that was put back in.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
So I like that it was put back in, because I think that the value engineering is just, we don't allow other businesses to do it. So we should do to ourselves as we ask for others, right? That's my point. So, so I like that we're adding the parking, and all of this. And I would not have said that we needed this emergency shelter in the past, but I think based on what recently happened with a lot of our, elders that were on oxygen or didn't have a place to go, I think that could be really beneficial to have them have a safe place, and could have a generator, like if they are, if the power goes out again. So I think that's really great. So anyway, I think a lot of these things that we're adding back in are really essential. My only then question, those are just comments, and my question is, do we really know though if the 1.7, like, that is a large amount of money? And so is that what that's gonna cost for all of this? Because my other thing is like, I don't mind having some of this put back in, but where were we spending that money before? And I'm just curious about that, or,
I've got the answer for you.
okay.
When council decided to allow me to ask the CFO to get money out of the general fund to combine the phases, we did. Then the Aging Bureau came forward with another 1.67 or 63 million, somewhere in there, to award us. So the intent was then to take that 1.75 million and put it back in the general fund, not spend it, put it back in the general fund. As we were looking at this, again, a lot of these things have been discussed in the advisory committee, in the construction meetings. We went over and walked the area, and a lot of these were like, we'd like to put them back in. Again, do we go to Aging Bureau to try for another fund in the future? The money was already allocated to the senior. We said we had it. And that's why I was asking, can we just put this right back on the agenda let's not let it resort back to the general fund. Let's use it now for the seniors, which if the Aging Bureau construction grant wouldn't have come through, we would have spent it on just the building. So now we have the money for the building. Let's spend it on these extra little amenities to make it a better senior. They deserve it. The seniors deserve it. It's a wonderful program. It's really starting to expand. I congratulate Steve, Mr. Bossman, for what he's doing over there. Just having some great things. I'm hearing great things from the senior about the existing programs and where we're going. And they're looking forward to going to this. And now we can expand into the gardening and the other stuff. The walking trails. Keegan had a great idea with the sensory. Let's keep them active, keep their sensories growing, doing better, promote longevity and those type of things. So very exciting to see. I would ask the council to allow this money to go to the senior program.
Thank you, Frank. Good explanation.
I agree with the city manager, I support the senior center 100%. I go there and I see what their needs are, and these are all essential. And these are for the seniors who are coming not only from the city, but surrounding areas because of the activities that we have with the senior. And we are going to have a state-of-the-art building, which the seniors have deserved for years and years and have waited for. So it's time for us to give this to us. And we have that money, like you said, instead of putting it in the general fund, put it where it needs to be. And that's the senior center that is attended to. So thank you, Mr. Steve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we have a motion or any more questions, Ron? Sorry about that.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the senior center funding with a budget adjustment.
Oh, you know what Linda wanted to motion.
Oh. Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you. We appreciate your support.
May I have it?
We have a big-
Dara started.
Still appreciate your support. Still appreciate it.
Motion, I said.
There you go.
Counselor Molina,
Yes.
Counselor Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Piano,
Yes.
Counselor Yazzie.
Yeah.
Mayor DePauli.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
The next item is a public hearing on the proposed issuance of a restaurant A beer and wine liquor license to 305 Fire LLC, doing business as 305 Fire. Can I, Erica,
Good
where
evening.
did I, wait, go ahead, hang on real quick. Let me get the,
Good evening.
good evening. Thank you so much.
Did you
Um,
bring pizza?
All right.
It's dependent on our vote. I'm just kidding.
So the speaker's name is gonna be Jennifer Van Drunken and her husband.
Yeah. She does most of the work. in the
She does most of the
business.
talking.
I do
most of the not talking
I'm the mouth of the business.
She does the mouth.
Okay, I have that same in my house. So this here. Sorry, Erica, I lost my hearing. We take a short recess, just like minutes. Everybody come back in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
I read before the meeting. Almost over, let's say.
Get back to your seat. Yeah.
48-38. I don't know if
All
that's
right.
final, there's still 33 seconds. That was the final score.
Yeah, this is the thing I didn't have and I got confused.
I've got an announcement.
What is it? What is our score?
Let's start the meeting. Let's go.
What are you trying to say?
Let's go. Somebody's got to get up early.
Are we
work
good to
this
resume
morning.
our council meeting?
Yes.
Okay, with that, we'll start
I've
the
got a comment.
hearing.
I've got a comment.
Oh, yes, Ron, we have a brief comment.
Final score. Ooh, I lost it. Where is it? 48-38.
48-38. Gallup Bengals.
Gallup Bengals. So Gallup.
The 505 Fire seeks a restaurant liquor license with on-premise consumption and patio service located at 305 South Second Street, Gallup, New Mexico. The city council is to decide whether to approve or disapprove the issuance of the license. The director of the Alcohol Beverage and Control Division has granted preliminary approval. Legal notice of the public hearing was published in the Albuquerque Journal on February 7th, 2026 and March 7th, 2026, and posted on the city's website. The application, the director's preliminary approval, and legal notices are attached. Legal notice, okay. The New Mexico law provides that a local governing body shall hold a public hearing on the question of whether the Alcohol Beverage and Control Division should approve the proposed issuance. The city council may disapprove the issuance if the proposed location is within the area where an sale of alcoholic beverages is prohibited by the laws of New Mexico. The issuance would be in violation of the zoning or other ordinances of the governing body. The issuance would be detrimental to public health, safety, and morals of the residents of the city. The location is not in prohibited area, and the issuance would not be in violation of a zoning or other city ordinance. To disapprove the issuance on public health, safety, or moral grounds, the city council must find the issuance of a license would be detrimental to the public health, safety, or morals of the city residents by substantial evidence presented during the public hearing. Testimony concerning the negative effect of the alcohol alone is not sufficient to justify such a finding. Within 30 days after the public hearing, the city must notify the Alcoholic Beverage Control Division of the council's decision to approve or disapprove the issuance of the license. If the city council fails to approve or disapprove the issuance within 30 days after the public hearing, the director of the Alcohol Beverage and Control Division may give final approval to the issuance of the license. If the city council approves the issuance, the director shall approve the issuance. If the city council disapproves the issuance, the director shall disapprove the issuance. Does that make sense? Yeah, I guess so. The New Mexico Court of Appeals has initial jurisdiction respecting appeals from division decisions. And those legal references are contained in the package. I don't know if we need to read these. So with that, we will, do we want to start the hearing first, or do we want to have a comment? From the speakers? I'm confused here. The fiscal impact, there's no fiscal impact. There's no recommendation. So
Other witnesses.
you lost me. I'm sorry.
Right below the head.
Oh. Oh, proceed with the hearing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay, so with that, we will start the public hearing, and this is a public hearing on the proposed issuance of Restaurant A beer and wine liquor license to 305 Fire LLC, doing business as 305 Fire, located at 305 South Second Street, Gallup, New Mexico. Because this is a public hearing, anyone wishing to address council in this matter must be sworn in. Would everyone who wishes to testify in this manner, please identify yourself and remain standing. Please rise, please rise. Please rise and identify yourself and remain standing. We have just one back there. Okay. Witnesses, please raise your right hand. And Mr. Abeda, would you swear in the witnesses?
Yes, sir. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Oh, raise your right hand, guys. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now the witnesses are sworn in. But public hearings are sometimes called a quasi judicial hearing because the procedure we follow is similar to a trial in the court of law. First, the person or organization that made the application, called the applicant, in this case 305 Fire, presents testimony and evidence as to why the application should be granted. This is generally done through the testimony of witnesses, but can also be through evidence such as documents, pictures, and the like. Witnesses will testify at the podium. As with all witnesses, council members and city attorney may ask questions of the witness at any time during the witness's testimony. When 305 Fire is done presenting its case, I will ask for anyone else wishing to testify in support of the application to come forward and testify. We ask those witnesses not repeat testimony that other witnesses have provided. After the conclusion of the testimony in support of the application, I will ask for any witness that opposes the application to testify. This would be anyone that thinks the application should be denied for any reason. Again, we ask that those witnesses not repeat testimony that other witnesses have already provided. When we have heard all the witnesses, we may ask for a summary of each side's argument, but we will do that only after if the council feels it would be helpful. Our role is to ensure that the law, in this case, the law relating to the issuance of Restaurant A beer and wine liquor license to 305 Fire is correctly applied to the facts of the particular case. The law provides that the city council may approve or disapprove the issuance Restaurant A license based on, number one, the applicant's status and its satisfaction of statutory and regulatory requirements. Number two is the proposed location, including whether it is within an area where the sale of alcoholic beverages is prohibited by New Mexico law or would violate a zoning or other ordinance of the city of Gallup. And three, whether the issuance would be detrimental to the public health, safety, or morals of the residents of Gallup. As to the matter of the public health, safety, and morals, the discretion the city council has to deny a license on moral grounds must be based on the moral effects of the operation of a specific applicant at a particular location. Similarly, to deny issuance of a license based on safety issue, there must be substantial evidence that the issue or the transfer would be detrimental to safety. Evidence concerning the negative effects of alcohol by itself is not sufficient. Evidence offered respecting the applicants should be relevant to the standards and criteria governing the issuance of a Restaurant A license. The city council must make its decisions based solely on whether the facts show that the applicant should or should not be approved. We therefore request the applicant and all participants in this hearing confine their testimony and evidence to matters that are relevant to the council's decision. First question, does anyone have any questions concerning the procedure we will be following? No questions? Because this is a quasi judicial hearing, council members should not participate in this matter if their impartiality might be reasonably questioned. This generally would be where the member has a personal bias or a prejudice, has made a public comment that appears to show that the member intends to vote on a particular way this matter would personally benefit from the matter decided, is closely related to the party, or has a connection to the party that would tend to influence the member's decision in this matter. Are there any council members that wish to recuse themselves in this manner? With that, there's none. For the record, nobody. Does the applicant wish to ask any council members not participate in this matter due to a concern about the impartiality of the council member?
No.
Okay, the question, that the answer, no, there's no. We will now hear the evidence. Would the applicant representatives come to the podium? You're already there. And present the applicant's testimony and any other evidence the applicant wishes to council to consider.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council. Thank you, city staff. 305 Fire is my wife and I's business, Jenny here. We are in our 16th month of being open, and it has been a sincere pleasure to invest and put our time and energy into downtown and into Gallup. I think for myself personally and for Jenny too, I'll let her speak for herself, but we have a heart for Gallup. We have a heart, I have a heart specifically for downtown, and to see our community and our business integrate with community development. That was one of the main reasons we decided to start this business. We wanted to create space for people to come and hang out and be together and create community. We got lucky. We found a great chef, also a Galupian. And we were wondering, is this going to even work? Is it going to work to have artisan sourdough pizza in Gallup, New Mexico? And we were pleasantly surprised to have been embraced by the community. We've been embraced by the tourists that come through our community. We've been featured in, well, I won't say featured, we've been mentioned in New Mexico Magazine, and we have been mentioned in Edible Magazine in our short tenure for our the excellence in our culinary offerings. And we are requesting that council consider beer and wine as an addition for our residents and for our tourists that come through this town. I get about 2 to 3 calls per week from mostly out-of-towners that ask me one question: do you serve beer or wine? And I tell them no, but I'm working on it. So I do think that offering that would definitely enhance bringing tourists to downtown. I think it would enhance the dining experience, especially if it's done in a thoughtful and careful manner. And I hope that our reputation and how we run our business precedes that. With that said, I do want to extend thanks to the city in operating our business. Planning and zoning has been wonderful in helping us. The fire chief was wonderful in helping us. Police has been great. We did get some propane tanks stolen 2 weeks ago, but they're going to do a few more patrols. Even solid waste has been great. They pick up our cardboard, which saves me work. And the electrical department helped me figure out my little solar system that existed on the building. So I really want to say that the city has been a wonderful partner in doing business and doing it in downtown. So I'm very grateful for that. And with that, I will defer comments to someone else.
I don't have, too much really to add to that, but yeah, it's really been a privilege for us to be in that space. We live close to downtown. I mean, I'd say we're 3 blocks away. So we really feel like this neighborhood is our home. And it's been fun to see not only our community local come in, but off of the Navajo Nation. I mean, from Zuni, it's been really fun to see our little community at 305 just sort of growing, and tourists do stop by. We've had people international stop by. We had an Italian group. We had a group from England, and they just, they find us on Google and they just want to try something that's not your typical fast food chain restaurant. So, and it's great that they can come downtown, so they're always looking for things too. I remember we had a group that came and wondered where to go now. It was 9 o'clock, where can we go from now? And I was like, well, trying to figure out where would be a good place to send this group of retired Italians to go have fun, so that was a struggle a little bit, but yeah, we've really enjoyed the journey. So yeah. Any questions for us, I guess?
Yeah, does the applicant have other witnesses that wishes to testify? Just.
Oh.
I don't know if you wish me to.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and councilors. My name is Rose Eason, and I am here in full support of 305 Fire's application for a beer and wine license. 305 is one of the best things that's happened to downtown in the 10 years that I've been working in the downtown area. They are really enhancing our downtown, our arts and cultural district. They didn't mention all of the programming they're doing, the music nights, the trivia nights, the poetry, the yoga. So they're bringing a lot to our downtown, and I think that this opportunity will help their business grow in new ways and increase foot traffic downtown and make the neighborhood more welcoming for families, for tourists, for everybody. And we'll put downtown back on the map where it belongs, and I congratulate them on all their success. And they are being noticed, and people are traveling from out of state, I've heard, to eat their pizza. And this is, yeah, I'm just in full support and couldn't be happier for them and what this means for our downtown generally.
Awesome.
Is there anyone else that wishes to testify in support of the application? Dave? Matt, did you raise your hand?
I do not, I swear, I will absolutely tell the truth.
Oh, yeah, we're sworn in now.
Swear me in properly, please.
Yes.
You swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth and the penalty of perjury.
Yes, I do.
Please state your name at the podium, please.
Good evening, council and mayor. I appreciate your time. I want to make this quick. I know this is the
What's
last.
your name?
Matt Shepherd, excuse me, I'm sorry. I know this is the last item on the agenda, so I'll make it quick, but Chuck and Jenny are incredibly humble, so they're gonna leave this out, but they are incredibly responsible, caring and respectful members of the community. If you've been to the restaurant, you can tell that eating there is different than other restaurants in Gallup. And I'm the one that actually runs their trivia nights in the summer. And they're just so inclusive. And I know that the purpose of this hearing is to kind of be the gatekeeper of acknowledging that this is going to be another portal for alcohol in this community. And I think that they fully understand the gravity of what that means and what the history of that of alcohol in this community is. And so I think that they would be it would be a boon to the downtown economy if they were to have that. And they would, like I said, they would be very respectful. They're very inclusive. They want to be creative with it too. I think Collier, the chef, wants to do sake based drinks from the gentleman that makes sake in Holbrook. Like they want to be really inclusive like that and offer different kind of things that are offered here. And so I think with all of that included, I think it would be I would respectfully encourage that the council and mayor approve their license.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor? Yes. I have just a few questions for purposes of completeness of the record for the applicants. They can answer those questions. I'd appreciate it. Is 305 Fire LLC a New Mexico limited liability company? Was it formed here in New Mexico?
Yes,
And are you the only members of the company?
yes,
To the best of your knowledge, is the company in good standing with the Mexico Secretary of State?
yes.
Final question, had either of you or the LLC ever had a liquor license application disapproved or a liquor license revoked?
No.
Thank you.
I have some questions. I have a few questions for you guys and just on behalf of the public. Thank you for being here tonight. I am curious, as far as I'm aware, special training for your servers is not required for this type of license from the state, but it's kind of on behalf of the community and because of some of the concerns here, I'm curious if you would be willing to have some extra training for your servers on just kind of when it's appropriate to stop serving somebody and for them to be aware of responsible use.
So 18, so there are regulations by state law that require us to train our servers.
Oh, there are.
So anyone that is going to serve, sell or serve alcohol to go through that training.
Okay.
So that does quite a good job of like what signs do you look for, and they kind of like this. There's a bar. Chuck can maybe explain.
It's a hard course. I had to take it. Anyone who applies for the license has to take the alcohol server training
in order for us to apply for those.
Which is like a 4-hour training, 3-hour, it was, and I think I'm pretty good at these sort of things, but it was tough. So I thought it was pretty rigorous. And yeah, everyone who serves alcohol will have to take that same course.
Okay.
So I was pretty impressed with the actual training. It really made you be like, it wasn't just a click and be done. It was quite a thoughtful course.
Thank you. I just didn't see it in my own research, so.
Yeah, yeah. So we will, and even if there wasn't, I think we would.
Okay.
We would find something that says this is, yeah, I mean, it's, we are walking into this kind of with our eyes like wide open and thinking about how are we gonna protect our space and not, not cause, we want to make sure that we're doing this right. We don't want this issue to be a problem at all.
Are you considering possibly expanding your hours, the weekend nights?
So right now we have our winter hours, which close at 8. And we're already thinking this weekend will be open till 8:30, which are kind of more the spring. With our daylight savings change, we'll be going till 8:30. And last summer we were open till 9 in the summer. We haven't really discussed being open beyond that at this point.
Maybe,
Yeah.
we don't know yet.
Okay.
And we're only open 3 days too, so we're only open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay. And then the other thing I saw was like the 60-40 rule, of course, that your alcohol revenue cannot be more than 40% of your total. And I don't know if you, just curious if you foresee that ever becoming an issue.
Considering that we sold out of pizza dough last Saturday, probably not.
Yeah, we really want to still remain a pizza place. Like that's what we want to be known for. You know, we don't really want to be known for the place to go to get a drink and go home, you know? So the pizza's our baby and we want to keep it kind of in the spotlight.
And we hope that that's been established. I mean, we're 16 months in and I mean, we could have applied right when we opened, but we purposely didn't. We really wanted to set the tone for who we are and what we are and how we do it. And I've had people come into the restaurant that have already had too much that I have had to be very firm with and exit. And even though we don't sell alcohol, and to kind of set that tone of like, hey, this isn't the place for this. This isn't going to be there. But that was one of the reasons that we waited this long to begin with.
Yeah, I have a question or clarification. This is more of a comment, I guess, but also when you're applying for a license for beer and wine, bless you, you know, people can't come in and just have a drink, right? They have to order food with the alcohol. So I think that is my understanding. So that hopefully helps with not, I mean, I just want to give that clarification to the public that people can't, this license does not allow for someone to just come in and have a drink. It's not a bar. They have to have food.
I'm not sure if that's correct, actually. I think they can come in and have a drink.
Without food?
Yes, the ruling is that,
Oh.
I believe the ruling is that total sales cannot exceed 40% of your total gross sales. So if someone wanted to come in and have a beer and leave, I believe they can. Now, we could personally, we could add our own rules, which if we have talked about, like we were thinking about, we haven't made decisions yet about having maybe a 2-drink limit, no matter who you are. If in implementing house rules, if we need to do so. But I don't think that's correct what you're
Okay,
mentioning.
that's good clarification. That's what I thought. I was under the understanding that it was, you had to have food with the alcohol. So I could be wrong on that. So I'm thankful that you clarified that. Okay.
It looks like it's just while food service is operating, like they have to be operating the menu at the same time.
We can't like close the food down at 8 and then serve
Okay.
alcohol until midnight or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, with that, is there any more questions?
I got a
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
I've been to your establishment. It's a well-run company, class act.
Thank you.
I like the ambiance and everything else. I'm sure you're perfectly capable of carrying on a liquor license. My question is more, tell us your history. Are you from Gallup? Are you not from Gallup? That's what I want to know. I want to know your background.
I could talk all night, Counselor Molina, but I moved to Gallup. I came to Gallup in 1997. Pre-internet, pre-cell phones, and I'll never forget the first time I drove down I-40. The only thing I knew about New Mexico was that Bugs Bunny took a wrong turn in Albuquerque. That is the only thing I knew about this place. And I'll never forget getting to the through exit as the sun was setting, and I was absolutely stunned by the beauty of the land. I pulled off the exit and I looked at the Red Rocks, and I said to myself, this is the one state where the license plate motto actually means something. This land is enchanting. I mean, I grew up in south of Chicago, and the license plates there say Land of Lincoln. I mean, who cares about Lincoln? Lincoln wasn't even born in Illinois, but land of enchantment. So I personally fell in love with the land here, and I came to Gallup. I stayed in one of these $18 hotels. I knew absolutely not a single person here. Didn't know anyone, didn't know anything. My girlfriend was at the time was going to take a job at Rehoboth, and she wasn't here yet. So I was just kind of scoping out the area, and I could go on and on, but long story short, I never really left. That's not true. I left for 1 year. I went to the Dominican Republic and I taught there for 1 year and did all kinds of wild things. I went sea kayaking and exploring, and went to Peru and hiked Machu Picchu and did all kinds of crazy stuff, and worked in dairies in California. I drove semi trucks for a sugar beet farmer in Minnesota. I did all kinds of crazy things. And then I decided, where do I really want to live? After going all over the country, all over the world, where do I want to live? And I sat down and I really thought about it. And I said, I think my favorite place that I want to start my life is Gallup, New Mexico. And so I came back in 1999, late 99, no job, no nothing, couch surfed with a friend, and started working different jobs. There used to be a snowboard factory right back here behind West End Donut. And I worked for this guy named Marty, who had a company called Custom Craft, and we made snowboards together. We actually made snowboards for the band Pink, because we did custom. Yeah. So I worked for him. Then I took a job at Gallup High, taught at Gallup High for a little bit. And then thankfully I met this wonderful woman next to me who was a teacher, a math teacher at Rehoboth Christian School. And we started to date. And I said to her, I said, I got this great idea. I want to start a magazine for Gallup, and I want it to be only about positive stuff. And she said, that's the best idea I ever heard of. And I was like, yes. And then she proceeded to say, yeah, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to help you. And I said, whoa, 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 we don't need to quit the job. You can maybe keep your job while we do. And anyway, but she did. She was hardcore. So she quit her job. And we started the Gallup journey together. And then in the midst of starting that new business and in finding, we were living on school housing and finding our own house. Then she says to me, right before, or a few months before our first issue, she says, oh, by the way, I'm pregnant. But we survived it all. And we've been here since we married in 2003, and we've had 2 kids here, and Gallup's been a great place to raise our kids. And it's been a great community that has just been absolutely wonderful. I've got family in Illinois. They ask me all the time, when are you going to come back? When are you going to work for the family company? I have an uncle that runs a freeze-dried food company. I got other relatives in the Chicago area, and I turn them down. I'm just like, they don't understand it. They don't understand it. Like, why do you stay in Gallup? And I mean, the simple answer for me is I love it. I feel like Gallup has so much latent potential. It has incredible beauty. It has incredible culture. It has incredible infrastructure. We have an interstate going right through our town. I feel like we have incredible things to offer the world, to show the world. And I feel like that's just my heart to help do that here. in whatever capacity. And right now it's pizza. So that's my side of the story.
That's.
That covers it.
Well, since we're asking questions, I just want to know if you guys can serve tap beer and bottled and cans?
Probably just tap, I think. I mean, my chef is particular. He's researching like the premium, whatever, microbrews from New Mexico. And he's trying to come up with, like wine-based cocktails that are different or flavorful. Someone had mentioned the possibly using sake from this world-class Japanese sake maker in Holbrook. But we'll see what becomes.
Yeah, and our space, if you've been in there, is very limited.
Yeah.
So we don't even know where we're gonna put the glasses yet, you know, so we have to really think about the infrastructure of that space and. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. So we'll go on to the next phase of the hearing. And is there anyone that wishes to testify in opposition of the application? No. Done. Nobody here. Okay. We have now heard all the evidence. Does council feel that the summation of the evidence would be helpful, or do you feel you have a complete understanding of the issues and wish to proceed to deliberations?
Proceed. Yes, proceed.
Everybody good? It is now time for the council to deliberate and come to a decision in this matter. Council may deliberate in either an open or closed session. What is the pleasure of the council as to how we deliberate?
I'm ready to make a decision now, out in the open.
Yeah, open session. Yeah, open.
Okay. Would any counselors like to make a statement before we vote on this matter? Probably had enough with our conversation
I
already.
think so.
A lot, Ron. Ron opened a whole door of.
That's good. If I wish, do I hear a motion regarding the application of 305 Fire for issuance of a Restaurant A beer and wine liquor license?
I make that motion.
Oh, good.
And second,
I'll second.
Counselor Molina,
Yes.
Counselor Piano,
Yes.
Counselor Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Yazzie,
Yes.
Mayor DePaul.
yes. Okay.
Thank you for your investment.
Just for their.
Course,
So
one word.
30 days? So 30 days. See you in 30 days. Anyway, comments by mayor and city councilors.
We need to.
I'll let Ron, if you have anything.
I'll just make one comment real quick. I don't know what's going on exactly what happened at the golf course, but our superintendent was a little frustrated today, and I'll find out more about what's going on with that later. But our senior citizens, I just want to make a quick comment. I'm all for the senior citizens. Heck, and I'm sure Dave is. Dave and I are there, you know?
Wow.
So am I.
Anyway, oh, Linda and Dave and I. I'm sorry I left you out.
Basically, everyone that meets here.
Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Anybody else?
I have a bunch.
I just have one.
Oh, you do yours.
I don't know if you have the thing as I do. I have, I just want to mention the City of Gallup 16th Annual Community Cleanup. It's going to be starting. Our first one is going to be April 25th. Area 2, east side. It's going to be the east of Boardman Avenue to Vanden Bosch. New Hoboken. This is going to include Hillcrest, Desert Rose, Friendly Village, Adobe, Red Bluff, Chemisal, Red Hills, Patton, South Fork, Subdivision, Indian Hills, Neighborhoods, and Rehoboth Housing. That'll be the first cleanup, so get your trash ready.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you, Linda.
So I just wanted to mention a few things. So first of all, thank you to the citizens who reached out to me during the council meeting and asked me about the water around the hospital. It's my understanding, and Frank can give more clarification, that a valve broke. sometime tonight around the hospital area, and people in those neighborhoods have not had water. And we were getting a lot of calls and texts about why there was no water. So we apologize to those neighborhoods. It sounded like about an hour ago it was going to be 2 hours. So hopefully in the next hour, that those residents should have water. So if you're listening and you don't have water, it was a valve that broke unexpectedly, and that's what happened. So just wanted to give some clarification since I was getting a lot of texts and calls during the meeting about that. I also want to make mention, and again, if I speak incorrectly, but I found out, and I think Frank had mentioned this to us, and I think I might have just missed it. But I wanted to say this out loud because some people told me they didn't know, and I somehow didn't realize either, that we're no longer have the airline to Vegas right now. It's only to Phoenix. So we have stopped the airline to Vegas. Yeah, I wasn't aware of this either. I found out this weekend through a friend who was flying in from Vegas and said, I can't fly. It sounds like we're just and I'll let Frank talk a little bit more about this, but we don't have the funding to support it right now. And we are not getting the plane is not being filled enough like it is in the Phoenix trip. So we're looking at the state funding really wants us, I think, have about at least 75% full capacity. And we are not doing that on the Vegas, unfortunately. And I know a lot of people really like the Vegas, but I think it's really important for people to know that we have stopped the Vegas flights for now because of funding issues. And also for people to know that we do want to try to get it back. But when we currently, our contract does state that when a plane comes to pick people up, if there's 0 passengers, that plane has to still go back. And so we pay that full plane ride with 0 people as this cost of City of Gallup currently. And I think that's something people just may have not realized. I don't even think I fully realized. So I just wanted to mention that about. Oh, and Robert's on. Okay, Robert, I just wanted to bring that to people's attention.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is Robert Hamblin, City of Gallup Public Works Director. And, it's unfortunate that we had to stop the flights, but I want to give a little detailed explanation on the reason why we had to stop the flights. The operating cost for one trip to Vegas, just for the aircraft alone, is $4,921. That's per flight, one way. The estimated cost per passenger is about $130 one way, $260 round trip, which was very affordable for our travelers. However, it was not sustainable under the grant funding. In comparison to the Phoenix route, which cost $2,644 per flight, continuing the Vegas service was using up the funds at an alarming rate. According to DOT Aviation, airline services should keep at least 75% occupancy. Unfortunately, our Vegas flights were below 30%. So, that was really eating up the funding. We've had several conversations with the state, looking at ways to try to keep this, but unfortunately, it was not in our best interest at this time. But we will definitely work towards trying to get these flights back in the future.
Thank you, Robert. Anybody questions for Robert?
When did we stop?
I'm sorry?
First of March.
They stopped, the last flight was on March 8th.
Oh, so real recently.
Yes, ma'am. It just stopped on March 8th.
And I just happened to find out happenstance by a friend coming into Vegas, and she said, I was going to fly, but you guys aren't flying to Vegas. I said, we're not. So, I mean, it just happened real recently. So I was just thought everyone should know that was happening because that's.
Counselor, Counselor Piano, I really appreciate you bringing this up, and I apologize to the council and mayor for not being able to be there tonight. But I appreciate you letting me speak and kind of give an explanation as to why we had to cancel these flights.
Yeah, thank you for speaking on it. That's super helpful to have the information. Thank you. And then on a more positive note, because I'm just be negative the whole time. This Saturday is the St. Patty's Day event coming up for the City of Gallup. And this is going to be a great event. It's going on from on Coal Street Commons from 12 to 5. And I know that our city staff have been working really hard on having these events. And so I don't know if you have to wear green, but there's a car show, food trucks, live music, vendors. It's for the whole family. It's very family friendly. It's a free event. So come out this Saturday. It's on our city site. So please share it with your friends and family on your social media, but from 12 to 5 on the 14th this Saturday. So I think that's going to be a great event. I'm excited to keep having these citywide events. And then just two other things. I saw the library is doing a youth digital with storytelling workshop from the 16th to the 20th. So just some fun storytelling for youth. And then Friday, March 20th, I know this is crazy, but there's going to be the Easter Bunny. So if you got small kids and they love the Easter Bunny, starting on the 20th, the Easter Bunny makes his or her or their appearance at the Rio West Mall. So you can go take some fun photos. That's all.
Can I add to the scavenger hunt for the St. Patrick's Day event is already open, so people can be doing that scavenger hunt in advance for the raffle prizes, and there are tickets to Phoenix as one of the raffle prizes.
So fun. Love that.
And some Jerry's gift cards.
Wait,
I haven't sought out.
to the scavenger hunt.
That was all I was gonna highlight as well, but I also, you know, with spring break coming up, in addition to the library event, I wanted to also, we've mentioned the Gallup Arts event. I think they have arts camp during the week available for students from the 16th to 20th, ages 9 to 13. And that's at Art 123 Gallery. Yeah. That's great. Otherwise, if you're traveling out of town, be safe and have fun.
Thank you, Sarah. Back with that, we'll go to the city manager and the city attorney.
I'd just like to thank Gallup Fire, Gallup PD for their hard work today. Had a number of events going around in town.
Yeah.
Put their resources low. But they got out there and did what they needed to do. It's given Chief cracking fun about her out there directing traffic and getting some exercise. So it was unfortunate that we had a fatality, mile marker 18 today, which backed up. Again, it then backs up everything down 66. Creates other problems, created another accident west of Gallup. So a lot going on there. Thank them for all their hard work. Like to thank the area teams for working so hard during the winter sports. Unfortunately, in the first round, Zuni, Hojo, and Rema got knocked out, the girls. Second round today, as Ron said, the Gallup girls moving on. Unfortunately, Crown Point and Tohatchee got knocked out today. So our Gallup High girls are the last area women's team. Boys again start tomorrow night. So wish all the boys from our area good luck tomorrow, and wish the Gallup girls keep going on for a back-to-back championship.
Right on.
Very brief comment. We should have a new district attorney soon.
Oh, that is great.
Right.
I got nothing.
Oh, that would be great.
George Harrison?
Donation.
So that, this is the last company, this is the
Hey.
month.
I wonder.
You guys, this is the month of the monarch butterflies. If you guys, their population is almost down 90%, you know, worldwide. And this is when they do their migrations, and we used to see them in Gallup. We don't see them much anymore, but biologically, it's good to have the butterflies and the bees. So this is the month of the monarch butterfly. Keep your eyes open. With that, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Counselor Piano,
Yes.
Counselor Yazzie. Yes. Counselor Molina.
Yes.
Counselor Garcia. Mayor DePaul.
Yes. Guys, all right, see you at the pizza place.
Orders.
You got 30 days.
Oh, yeah. What do we get on Monday? Such a